Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Norwegian pianist and composer Espen Berg. We talked to him on April 25, 2020, during this strange new COVID-19 world about his latest 2019 CD, Free to Play, along with a life well lived in jazz. He has traveled around the world playing concerts since 2003. He is award-winning, and he has a great story. Enjoy. Well, hey, thank you for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz. I'm sure everywhere it's kind of the same surreal situation with COVID-19 going on.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. Well, hey, how's everything going in your world and your country?
Well, I think Norway has coped with this situation quite decently. We have actually gotten the virus under control in some ways, so we're just trying to avoid any big to make it spread again. Now it's kind of spreading really, really slowly and doesn't really affect the health services at all. So now it's okay, but we're still under lockdown over here. So
well, at any rate, thank you. I hope having an oasis to talk about the music is a good thing for a little bit. So thanks for taking some time out.
Yeah, no worries.
So, Free to Play was your last album, your latest one in 2019. What is it like to have music out and available for people that are going through this quarantine that probably have some more time to actually listen to music?
I think it's very important that music is available. And I think most people have new ways to listen to music now because they're not really traveling so much. They're sitting down, enjoying music in a different way, probably. I'm just watching my stream counts, and they don't seem to move in any direction, really. It's not really high count, but people are still listening to music, and that's nice. And I like to be a part of that, to have my music available.
Talk to me about your beginnings, where you were born and raised, and kind of how jazz became your world.
I was born in and raised in Hamar. That's a small town just north of Oslo, and I just grew up next to the piano, actually, so I played the piano since I was like 2 years old, something like that. I'm actually self-taught, so I just started to play by myself and enjoyed to explore. So I started to compose a lot of easy, simple songs from around age 6. And my father is a musician as well. He's a piano player, so I was able to use his studio when I was a small child, and I could record some stuff on my own, and I started to do that when I was 7. So I spent a lot of time in his studio, and I wasn't really introduced to jazz until I was 16. And then I started to study music at a high school, I suppose, and playing jazz at that time was actually a coincidence because I was expecting to play more pop rock thing because I was actually into that, and so the school assigned me to jazz lessons with a quite famous Norwegian piano player called Helge. So I had some lessons with him for a year, and that was really amazing, and it really opened up a lot of possibilities and new ways for me to explore music with improvisation and free improv and stuff like that. So that was my introduction to jazz, although I might have heard a lot of jazz through like general music I listened to when I was younger than that, but at that time I was really dedicated to improvisation and jazz, and I applied to the jazz department in Trondheim, which is the most established, oldest jazz education in Norway, which is a very good school to study at, and I took my bachelor's and master's degree there in Trondheim.
So what about jazz musicians you were listening to that really influenced you?
I listened a lot to Keith Jarrett to begin with, and later on Brad Mello, and a lot of Nordic piano players like Helge Lien and Esbjørn Svensson, Christian Wallenbrød. Yeah, mostly those. I think it's hard for me to just name a lot of names, but those are the few I can come up with. So yeah.
So what was the first live jazz show you saw that made you think, man, this is something I want to do?
Oh yeah, that might have been when I was around, I think, 17 years old, and I attended a concert with Trondheim Jazz Orchestra and Chick Corea. And they had a tour in Norway, and they visited a city close to Hamar. And the concert was amazing. It was a lot of energy, and they all played really amazing and was so inspired. Everybody were inspired, and so I got inspired from listening to that concert, and I thought that this is something I want to be on the stage like that, and to play my music with a big orchestra like that.
So, you've been at this on the road traveling since 2003. This has to be a pretty strange time just to think about, not doing this and the gigs that could have been possible and all of that. How are you processing this absence of live music?
It's definitely a big change, because last year I was traveling half the year, and I have two small children at home, and now I'm just appreciating having a lot of time with them. And so that's a positive thing. And it's quite busy at home, actually, because we were having the children at home, and both me and my wife are teaching. I have a part-time job at this jazz department in Trondheim, and my wife is a teacher. She's been working from home with video conversations and a lot of meetings, and she's busy all the time, and I have to be with the kids, and so time just flies by, and it's just until the recent days I've been trying to think of how to spend this time and the weeks, the upcoming weeks and months, and of course I'm thinking a lot of all the things that could have been this year, and there was actually a lot of things planned, a lot of exciting tours and festivals, and things were really starting to working out for me and my trio, and a lot of other interesting projects. So it's sad, of course, but still there's some music takes new directions, and there's new opportunities, and I'm actually playing some concerts now, but it's live streams, and so that's different, but it's interesting and it keeps me going. So I'm trying to focus on other projects which I wouldn't have had time to do if I were touring and playing concerts all the time.
So why do you love jazz?
It's about spontaneity, and just being able to express anything in the moment. That's just pure magic for me. I think I just I fell in love with improvisation from the time I started to study jazz and play more jazz. So all these ideas I have in my head, it's possible to just express them in the moment, and that's just fantastic. So it's more about the method, more than the history, and it's not really about all the musicians and the jazz history, but it's about the whole process and the method, and just creating beautiful or exciting or cool music in the moment.
We're going to eventually obviously get back to live music. I mean, you just said probably the most promising thing I've heard from a jazz musician in almost 40 days, that there's a possibility this summer of gatherings of 500 or less, which is huge, because in America I haven't heard anybody even theorize on when this could all pick back up and how many people will be around. So with that in mind, that's very hopeful, and obviously we will get back to it at some point. What do you hope both the musician and the audience realizes from this time away from the live music?
I'm not really sure. It's very interesting, definitely, and I have to inform you that the next week, and actually on Thursday, we're going to have a press briefing here in Norway, and they will attend all gatherings of 500 people and less during the summer. So they haven't really decided yet what the outcome is and what the status is for those kind of arrangements. So it's still a little bit unclear what's going to happen with smaller concerts as well. So, but I have some hopes to play concerts again during the year, at least inside the country. It's going to be a problem to travel abroad and deal with all the different countries' regulations and the rules for the virus and the situation. So, but I'm not sure. I think we have at least embraced the whole live stream digital platform. I think we have to decide how to work with that way of playing concerts, because I don't think it's the correct thing to just leave everything open and free for everyone. It's maybe it's a better idea to sell tickets like in a traditional way, but it's still a live stream, and to find a solution like that, because the musicians have to they need an income. Still, it's hard to just make everything free. I think everything is available on Spotify and streaming services to begin with. So just adding to that, it's like that's kind of the wrong idea. We have to find some models that works better for musicians.
Yeah.
Because we're struggling a lot these times.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your fans, but you're the one living your life. Who do you think you are?
I think, I think I'm a creative person. I like to work with sound and music, and I feel like a scientist sometimes. I'm a researcher. I like to sit down and figure things out, and especially kind of brainy stuff and geeky stuff. And I consider myself like a geek with with passion for music. And I think my life consists of music mostly, and that's a really important thing in my life. So I just have to keep creating music and work with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Without a doubt. Espen, thank you for taking some time. It's an extraordinary time on our planet. I appreciate you talking about the music and what's going on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening and tuning into another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest cats in Norway, America, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Espen for his time, music, and story. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.